This is the lesson for 8-5, day 1. What you're doing today is really taking a lot of what you already know how to do and putting it all together in one question. What you have to remember is you have to remember that when you have a symmetric graph, that means it's about the same on both sides of the graph, whether we're talking a dot plot, whether we're talking a box and whisker plot, or whether we're talking a histogram. If the data is symmetric, the best measure of central tendency is the mean. Anytime it is symmetric, you're going to use the mean. Your measure of spread that we're going to use with symmetric is the standard of deviation. All right. So symmetric, mean, standard deviation go together. Those three things are always used together. Whether it is skewed left or skewed right, it doesn't matter either way. Whether it's skewed left or right, anytime that it is skewed, you are going to use the median and you are going to use your interquartile range, IQR. So symmetric, use the mean and standard deviation. Skewed left or right, you use the median and the IQR. That is a very important slide for you to remember. You might want to write that down. You might want to take a picture of it. You might want to refer back to it, especially when it comes to your test. All right. When it comes to your test and when it comes to your homework, if it's symmetric, you want to use the mean and standard deviation. When it's skewed left or right, you want to use the median and IQR. I'll go back to that slide at the end. So in this one, what you're going to have to do on this one, we're going to do one of each type of question. We're going to do one box and whisker plot, one histogram, and one dot plot. So here's our data. Gold medals 1. Construct a box and whisker plot of the data and include any outliers. So the data is, we have to do a box and whisker plot. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to do our 5-number summary for our box and whisker plot. So you go to Stat, Edit. I already typed all of this data into my L1. All right, I've already typed it all right here. So all that I need to now do is Stat, Calc, one variable statistics, hit Enter, go down. We do want to use our L1, so we're going to go down to Calculate and hit Enter. When we go and do that, remember that our 5-number summary is down at the bottom. All right, our 5-number summary, so we have to scroll down. Our min is 0. By the way, there are a couple people that asked questions yesterday. When you have data that is 0, do you have to type it in? Yes, you do. You have to include that as a data point. All right, so 0 is our min according to our 5-number summary. So I'm going to put a little line there. Our Q1 is 1. So I'm going to put a little line there at Q1. Our median is 3.5. So 3.5, we just have to estimate in between 3 and 4. Our Q3 is 6. So I'm going to put a line right there. And our max is 14. So I'm going to put a line right there. We have to make a box and whisker plot. So I'm going to connect the 2 whiskers. And I'm going to make my box around the center 3. So there's my box and whisker plot. Now, when I take a look at this, what they want to know here, the data is blank. They want to know, is it symmetric? Is it skewed left? Or is it skewed right? Well, when I take a look at this, the majority of our data is on this part of our graph. That part of the graph is much bigger, much longer, much stretched out. So this is skewed to the right. The longer stretched out part is to the right. So this is skewed right. Anytime that data is skewed right, you're going to use the median. Remember, symmetric is the mean, skewed left or right is the median. And the measure of spread that you're going to use is the IQR. So what is the median? Well, the median you could just tell from your 5-number summary. The median is 3.5. And your IQR, remember the formula for IQR is your Q3 minus your Q1. Q3 is 6, Q1 is 1, so 6 minus 1 gives you an interquartile range of 5. I would predict that the next participant will win around blank gold medals. So the best measure of central tendency is your median. So you want to find your median, which is 3.5. And I feel blank about my prediction because, well, looking at your IQR, is this a huge IQR or a small IQR? I feel confident in my guess of 3.5 because my IQR is low. 5 is a low IQR, all right, when we're looking at the data. So that's what we would put for this one. In the next one, we're taking a look at a histogram. In this histogram, we have 40 randomly selected college professors and their ages. So we need to make our table right here first. So what I would do for this is I would look and see how many numbers are in between 20 and 29. So when I'm scanning through my list, I have 1, 2, 3, and I must have missed one. You see another 20 there? Oh, right here, 25. So I have 4 of those. So I'm going to put a 4 right there. 30 to 39. All right, 30 to 39. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I have 10 of those. I have 14 of them in between 40 and 49. I have 6 of them in between 50 and 59. And I have 6 in between 60 and 69. Remember, the way that you make a histogram is to make your bars going up to whatever these numbers are. The bars have to touch. So in between 20 and 29, I have 4. In between 30 and 39, I have 10. Notice that my side of my histogram, it's counting by 2s. 40 to 49, I have 14. So I need to go up to 14. 50 to 59, I have 6. And 60 to 69, I have 6. So there is my histogram. Is the data symmetric, skewed left, or skewed right? Well, I can see that it goes up and then it goes down. Is it exactly the same on both sides of the hill? No. But is it pretty close? Yes, it is. Therefore, this data would be symmetric. Since it is symmetric, you want to use the mean and the standard deviation. I would predict that the next professor's age will be around how many years old? Well, that means you need to find the mean. All right, remember that the mean is the X with the little line above it. So I need to type this data into my L1. Now, I already went through and typed it into my L2. So I'm going to use my L2 data. So stat, calc, one variable statistics. I want to use L2. So I need to hit second and 2 because that's the blue function right there. Go down to calculate, hit enter. So my mean here is the first number, 44.425. Now you might be asked on your homework to round, all right? This didn't say to round, so I'm just gonna put 44.425. If we had to round to the nearest 10th, it'd be 44.4. We had to round to the nearest 100th, it'd be 44.42. And I feel blank about my prediction because, well, the standard deviation. The standard deviation is this. It is 11.56. When we take a look at our data, well, when we take a look at our numbers and stuff like that, 11 years old is a big spread of data. All right. 11 is a high number. So I am not confident. Why am I not confident about my prediction? I'm not confident because my standard deviation is 11.56 approximately. My standard of deviation is high. All right, 11 is a high number. So that's what we would have for that one. Let's take a look at the last one here. The last one, we want to do a dot plot. All right, we want to do a dot plot of this data. So I have a 16, I have a 24, I have a 18, I have a 21, and I would highly suggest crossing this off as you go. Remember, you want your X's to be the same exact size so that you don't have weird shaped dot plots that are inconsistent. So I'm just going through and I'm doing my dot plot for this. So there's my dot plot. All right, there's my dot plot. Is this, the data is symmetric, skewed left, or skewed right? Well, when I take a look at this, I can see that it's going like this, and then it's being stretched out to the right. All right, since it's being stretched out over here to the right, this would be skewed right because it's being stretched out to the right. So since it's skewed right, we would find the median and the IQR. Remember, symmetric is mean and standard deviation. Skewed left and skewed right is median and IQR. I would predict that the next college student will spend around blank. Well, that means we need to type the numbers in. I already went through and typed the numbers into my L3. So I'm going to do stat calc, one variable statistics. I'm going to use L3 this time because that's where my data is. When we scroll down to find the median is 17.5. All right, that's our median. And our IQR, remember, is Q3 minus Q1. So it would be 19 minus 16. 19 minus 16 is 3. So do I feel confident about my prediction? Yes, I do. All right, I feel confident about my prediction because it is a low IQR. 3 is very low. So that's what you're going to be doing today. All right. Please pay attention to whether it says to make a dot plot, a histogram, or a box and whisker plot. Remember that if it's symmetric, you're going to use the mean and standard of deviation. If it's skewed left or skewed right, you're going to use the mean, median, and IQR. All right, skewed left or skewed right, median, IQR. This is super, super important to know for your test on Friday. It's also important to know for your homework.